Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have to give Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban again some positive points, because he shows courage, not only insight but courage. Why? Because he has the courage to say certain things out loud that other stronger nations, stronger countries, stronger leaders are avoiding to do. And this is, he calls United States and Ukraine out for their connection in relation to Russia. And the Ukrainians don't like that, obviously, and they try to smack him back, but I don't think he cares. Remember, one of and the most important ancient Greek virtue was courage. And then it was, wisdom, temperance, moderation, all that. So let's see what Mr. I was about to say Trump. Orban said, and what the Ukrainians are upset about. Let me give you this. I don't care if you're upset if that's true. For me, at least, truth trumps insult. Okay? So if you feel insulted for someone pointing out to something truthful, something that's true, you know what I mean? Go and take a ticket, stay in line, and then when I have time, talk to you. This article comes from European Pravda from December 27th, 2022. Orban's statements demonstrate pathological contempt for Ukraine and political short-sightedness. Ukraine Minister of Foreign Affairs says. So, pathological contempt for Ukraine, very possible, because you love Ukraine, because you love Hungary, right, Ukrainians? You make me laugh. And political short-sightedness, I don't think so. I think it's just pointing out to reality that you don't like to be pointed out. Okay, let's see. Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs has commented on the latest statements of Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, that Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine will end if the US stops assisting Kiev with weapons. Now you tell me. So, is it true or not? That Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine will end if the US stops assisting Kiev with weapons? Is that a fact? I think it's a fact. I think it's more than most likely. I think it's 99% likely that that's the truth. Oh, you don't like that to be verbalized? I bet you don't. But anyway, so, and I'm quoting, the statements of the Prime Minister of Hungary demonstrate a pathological contempt for Ukraine. So he attacks him personally for something that he talks about an issue. So Orban talked about an issue, and this weasel attacks him personally. He makes him as being a pathological contempt, which hates the country of Ukraine, Ukrainian people, as well as a short-sightedness. That means like a kind of like an idiot. So instead of dealing with the issue, he attacks the person. So ad hominem attack instead of dealing with the issue. Already I know who won, in my eyes, the debate. Orban, not this weasel. Because Orban can immediately say, yeah, but you're a short guy, fat guy, bald-headed with a short dick, and your mom dresses you funny. How about that? Huh? Where would that kind of conversation drop? To the kindergarten level. But Orban doesn't do that. What does that tell you? He's the bigger man. It's easy to insult, but this guy is just telling the truth, or at least what he thinks is the truth. And the other guys immediately attack him. Oh, you're stupid and short-sighted and you hate us. There you have it. And imagine that you have to negotiate with this kind of people. All right. So the statement of Prime Minister of Hungary demonstrated pathological contempt for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. Anyway, who resist Russian aggression. Why did the Russians aggress you? Just because it's unprovoked. Yeah, I got the answer. As well as his own political short-sightedness. After all, Ukraine's defeat in the war, which Viktor Orban indirectly calls for would lead to a direct threat of Russian aggression for Hungary and Hungarians, end quote, the Minister of Foreign Affairs has stated. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine is a narcissist. When this guy thinks that Ukraine is the most important point in this world. So if Ukraine falls, that's the end of the world. That's a big trait for a narcissist. Okay? When you think you're the most important person, without you, the world will not turn around anymore. It's not going to function. Well, you got to be a little bit of very much, I would say, and crazy. So that's what he says. If we fall, next is going to be you, and then Europe and the old civilized world that is not civilized anymore. If you know what I mean. Look at the culture these guys are pushing on us. That's a perversion. And you don't know what perversion is? Check the origin of the word, okay? The etymological meaning of the word, and where it comes from. Perversion, perverti, parvaro, babababubab, from Latin, which means abnormal, out of normality. Clear, nice word. Russian aggression, as well as his political short-sightedness. Okay, and I'm quoting, the Hungarian leader should ask himself whether he wants peace. He just said, how you want peace? That's one way. He didn't say this is the only way. He said that's one way, right? If the answer is yes, he needs to use his close ties with Moscow so that it stops its aggression against Ukraine and withdraws its troops, end quote, adding the foreign minister. Another punch below the belt and the balls from this guy who again says, well, actually, you are a Putin stooge over here, and if you talk to Putin to stop his criminal war against Angel us and our American friends, then yes, see, you're a traitor of the civilization, of a European civilization. Jesus Christ. As reported, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban said in an interview with a pro-government newspaper, Magyar Nemzet, that, and I'm quoting, Ukraine can only fight as long as the United States supports it with money and weapons. If Americans want peace, there will be peace. Is that a factual statement? I think it is. It is the only. No. He could say if Putin decides to eat a bullet and all in the Russian leadership position decide to do that, that could be peace. That's another option. And there are many other options. He just named one. Okay? Or for instance, if Jesus Christ, our Savior, shows up again and say, hey, peace, and everybody's like, I love you. Okay? That's gonna be the end of the war and everything. See, there's three options, but he just mentioned one. He didn't ignore the other ones. He didn't say, no, the Jesus Christ scenario, it's impossible. The other one with the Putin, it's impossible. He didn't say that. He said, if the United States wants, he can end the war. He didn't say, the other two are excluded. So, but hey, you deal with kindergarten level foreign minister, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of a country. Things like that. You say, well, they're supposed to, because it's a war, Emil. Well, it doesn't mean you have to be a baby, you know, and say, well, I'm defending my country, you're stupid, and your mom dresses you funny. Well, have a little bit of intellectual and, you know, at least behavioral dignity, if you know what I mean. Viktor Orban has earlier repeated his statements that, in his opinion, peace in Ukraine would best be achieved through negotiations between Russia and the United States. Is that a fact? Is that a fact? I think it is. I think this is not a fact. I think is the, how should I put it? You look at options. Option A, B, C, D. And based on the evidence you have, you see which one would benefit the most. Which one is the best candidate. And I think that Orban said with United States and Russia is the best candidate for stopping the war. Because if I can, the next candidate would be like, I would say, well, let me see how he worded it so I can follow the idiot. Peace in Ukraine would be best achieved through the negotiations between Zimbabwe and Mozambique, or Nicaragua and Guatemala. Is that realistic? No. Those two candidate options versus the first one are like this, very low, and this is the first one. So you pick the most likely, viable candidate, which is indeed, if United States speaks with Russia and they negotiate, is most likely everything to stop. Not if Mozambique speaks with Kenya or Zimbabwe or I don't know, Guatemala with whomever they decide. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, I think this should be understood by a 9th grader, 8th grader, 9th grader. A person of a 9, let's say that's 15 years of age, should be able to distinguish what this guy said and make it sound like I said. This is the most likable and most likely scenario that will solve the problem. Not Mozambique with Guatemala or Kenya with Zimbabwe. Okay? But these are the foreign ministry of Ukraine. Imagine that you stay across the negotiating table with somebody like this. Can you negotiate? I mean, he's gonna call you, I don't know, ugly, fat, or big-nosed, or whatever, because he doesn't have arguments. I don't know if you know that, but sometimes it happened to me. So and I heard this many times before until it happened to me. Sometimes to think it hurts. It happened to you when you're very tired or you used your brain the whole day in some difficult situations to solve certain problems, and then you're done with that, and let's say you come home and then you buy, or your wife or whomever bought a new product, I don't know, something, and you have to install it, and you say fuck, and you get the, how do you call it, the instructions, and it's just 5 pages instructions that you can eat them in 3 seconds and a half. But it's like looking at those instructions and say, fuck, you don't want to think a second, you don't have to pay attention to what, place the screwdriver in the ass of this, turn it clockwise and push it hard, and then while holding it, you don't want to do that. It's like hurting. It happened to me. So kind of like this is with these guys. For some people, it hurts to even think about simple things. You know? Not people that are, how should I say it, saturated. You're saturated with all the thoughts, your brain is like boiling, and you have to turn it, hold it, and fuck no. So anyway, some people start with that as a default. When they wake up in the morning, oh, it hurts, I have to brush my teeth. Jesus Christ, what I'm supposed to do? Grab the toothbrush. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, believe me, I met people like that. Not many, but I met them. And as I said, it happened to me, but under those circumstances. But it seems like some people think while sleeping like 12 hours a day, and then they wake up, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I have to brush my teeth. What am I supposed to do? Get the instructions. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.